Alright, now everybody's asking about my take on loot, the key to everything. Long story short, I hate it. Now this guy is cute, he's cuddly, we've been dealing with things like this since 1976 when James T. Kirk was dealing with the damn tribbles, dude. It's everything I'm not. I hate that. I'm this guy, the abomination. This is what magic used to be, and this is what magic means to me. Dudes with no lips, chunking in the pink timeless space. Obviously just kidding here. I'll take a look at this cute little guy, but first, like, subscribe. You can buy me a coffee, send me the nuclear codes. It's all engagement, brother. Alright, here we go. Loot, the key to everything. This guy is green, blue, and a red for a legendary creature, Beast Noble. It's a 1/2 with ward 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of card types among other non-land permanents you control. You may play those cards this turn. This guy reminds me of Alf. Remember Alf? Stands for Alien Life Form. This was a 4-season sitcom. He liked cats, dude. He liked to eat cats. He's got a big nose, just like Robert De Niro, brother. Now this guy Loot, he has no nose, and I'm not going to read the lore on this thing because I don't want to have a lobotomy. I don't want to read the lore either, dude. But is it an alien? Is that what we're saying here? Is that what's going on? Looks like the Beebles, but they're gray and pink. Maybe it's a descendant of the Beebles. The ward 1 is nice. Should add a thin veneer of survivability to this little idiot. So it's a permanent based deck. It's wide open in terms of what kind of permanents you can include. You may want to think about enchantment creatures or artifact creatures and pay off casting from exile. Now artifact creatures have better commanders, and that's better commander, dude. It's actually not really. But artifact creatures would slot here nicely if the utility is high enough. You may want to consider artifact ramp though. We usually go for land-based ramp in these colors, but those little spells won't increase our non-land permanent types. You want enchantments and artifacts, like the old Soul Ring here. Now I'm just spitballing here, just thinking out loud, right? So you have enchantment creatures, the Eidolon and Blossoms out there, and our commander as the 2 non-land permanents we control on the battlefield. So it comes to our upkeep. At the beginning of our upkeep, we exile 2 cards and may play them this turn. This alone is a very solid value engine. If you wanted to specifically build into enchantments, I don't think there are enough utility creatures in these colors to do an enchantment creature deck though. Now the exception to this is some of the gods. With just Xenagos and Loot on the battlefield, you wouldn't have the devotion to see 2 cards with Loot's ability during your upkeep, but you're about halfway there. Some of these gods are just generically good depending on what you're going for. Now you're also casting cards from exile all day, brother, so let's take a look at some payoffs for doing that. If there's a direction for this guy other than generic value, it's cast from exile / play from exile. He's the enabler, so what are the payoffs? Maybe pick up one of these guys, although it's $15 at present, the old Passionate Archaeologist. It's the only magic card that has passionate in it, and that's a crime. 1 and a red for a legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have whenever you cast a spell from exile, this creature deals damage to that spell's mana value to target opponent. Little sleeper hit from Baldur's Gate, man. This thing rips. It's got very pricey though. Lots of excellent cards from that set that people have really ignored. And how about this guy, the Wild Magic Sorcerer, 3 and a red for a creature Orc Shaman. It's a 4/3. The first spell you cast from exile each turn has Cascade. This is another payoff for casting things from exile. Just get a grip of free spells, dude. It's another Baldur's Gate banger that is getting up there in price. And for the Baldur's Gate hat trick, we have now Feshni, 5 and a red for a creature Beast Demon. Just like old Nikki G, it's a 4/6 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. If it's a permanent spell, the copy gains haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this permanent. Now Feshnis hang out with really pretty ladies, and make sure they don't talk to me too long when we meet at the bar, dude. Sarah, we've got to go. It's my cat's birthday tomorrow. Dang now, Feshni. Then I end up hanging out with the Keeper of Secrets, 5 and a red for a demon. It's a 6/4 with first strike and haste. It has the Symphony of Pain, dude. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this thing deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to target opponent. To look upon one is to surrender every last shred of self-will. Is it a demon or is it David Bowie, dude? People have been asking that since 1974, but this is another payoff in a loot deck. And of course we have Faldorn out there, Dreadwolf Herald, 1 red and a green for a legendary creature, Human Druid. It's a 3/3. Whenever you cast a spell from exile or a land enters the battlefield under your control from exile, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. As 1 tap, discard a card, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Faldorn, like all redheads, is a druid. This is a great payoff and you're going to be seeing a lot of cards. Then we have Uraxa, Emperor of Mars. You need to get to Mars. 2 red for a legendary creature, alien warrior. It's a 5/4 with trample, has battle cry and paradox. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, create a 2/2 red alien warrior creature token. This ability, similar to Faldorn, is decent, but look at those stats, man. Damn, a 5/4 with trample for 4. In 2001, this would have been a $40 card. Today, 16 cents. Give me back the Beebles. And in a similar vein, we have the Lost and the Damned. 1 blue and a red for an enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control from anywhere other than your hand, or you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, create a 3/3 red spawn creature token. So this pays off when you play lands from elsewhere as well, kind of like Faldorn. And if you're like me, you see floating, muscly, nude men in the night, so you could be seeing the Sage of Beyond. 5 blue for a creature, spirit giant. It's a 5/5 with flying. Spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 2 less to cast. Has foretell for 4 and a blue. This works great with foretell cards. Foretell cards in general with this commander would be great. This guy's pretty underutilized. Looks like he's getting a reprint in Cowboy Commander too. And while we're on the subject of cost reducers, this thing is a 49-cent bomb. The Talinkali Hunter, 5 green for a creature, Scorpion Scout. It's a 7/7 with trample. Once each turn you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a creature spell you cast from exile. Also have Retrieve Prey. So this is a little adventure. You get a card back from the graveyard, creature card. Until the end of your next turn you may cast it. This thing is a damn scorpion, dude. You may want to stay away from the tail. That's what my mom told me when I was a young boy. Hey, my band's playing at Mother Earth's Cafe. It's called Flaming Tyrannosaurus. 5 red for a creature dinosaur. It's a 5/5 with menace. Has paradox. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this guy deals 3 damage to any target, then put a +1/+1 counter on it. When it dies, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. This card is bonkers, dude. Doctor Who banger, and I love it, man. The only thing that can make a big dinosaur more more deadly, is if it was flaming. Then we have this little fella from Jumpstart, Mizzix, a replica rider, 4 and a red for a legendary creature, Goblin Wizard. It's a 4/5 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, you may pay 1 and a hybrid red-blue. If you do, copy that spell and you may choose new targets for the copy. If the copy is a permanent spell, it gains haste, and at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this permanent. Very cool card. Look, man. He made Niv Mizzix, but it's a Clockwork Steed Dragon. Get all those ETB effects, man. Cool card. Alright, we're going down the rabbit hole here. Take a look at Lelia the Blade Reforged. 2 and a red for a legendary creature, Spirit Warrior. It's a 2/2 with haste. When it attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Great. Whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from your library and or graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Lelia. This thing gets big so quickly, dude. Very dangerous card. She's kind of her own build around, but is a pretty crazy deck, man. Now, some of the Doctor Who doctors also play well with exile, but I wanted to highlight this one right here because I think it's a little better than it reads. You got Osgood out there, 2 blue, legendary creature, human alien shapeshifter. It's a 2/2. When you cast it, create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. Has tap, add colorless, spend this mana only to cast artifact spells and or activate an ability of an artifact. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, investigate, so you're creating a clue. At first, this card doesn't look super good, but you're making 2 of them, casting a spell from exile, and making 2 clues. Then you can use them to sack the clues. It's just putting a lot of permanents out there with loot, the key to everything on the battlefield. So I kind of went down the rabbit hole with cast from exile effects and payoffs, and as you can see, there are quite a few. Planeswalkers are also a non-land card type. You can go down that rabbit hole if you want, so are battles, man. I rarely see Planeswalkers I want in my decks, but if you find one that's particularly suited to your theme, like Oko here, by all means, go nuts. There are only a few artifact and enchantments in the game, namely the special tools of the gods in these colors. You got the Biden of Thassa, pretty good based on a creature-based deck. Actually, all of them are pretty decent. Hammer of Perforos gives you haste and is one of the few ways to get artifact enchantment creatures. So this would make all 3. I put a picture of the token up there. Bow of Nylea, this makes things really hard to block in a creature-based deck. Death Touch is a very underrated ability. It's not evasion, but it can be nasty, especially on a first striker or a double strike creature. Now there's some really nice artifact creatures. The Phyrexian Metamorph, of course this guy's 3 and a Phyrexian blue for an artifact creature. Phyrexian Shapeshifter, it's a 0/0. You may have this guy enter the battlefield as a copy of any artifact on the battlefield or creature, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. The old Metamorph here can be anything you want, dude, but gets the artifact card type, Best of both worlds there. Still a pricey card at about $5. Solemn Simulacrum is the highest played artifact creature in EDH, dude. Just a ton of value on this little 2/2. Love this guy's sad little face. But if you really want some card advantage that curves right into your dude, how about the Ornithopter of Paradise? So this guy's 2 mana for an artifact creature. Thopter, it's a 0/2, has flying. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. He just wants to be Birds of Paradise so badly, brother. So those are my thoughts on Loot, the key to everything. It's a pretty generically powerful card advantage engine in Temur colors, which is an absurd color combo to begin with. You could lean into enchantment creatures, artifact creatures, or play from exile payoffs. Honestly, you could lean into any combo of the 3 and you'll be doing just fine. You could build a Cascade deck, lean into that. That would be a lot of fun, right? This makes Loot, the key to everything, a pretty broad, good stuff commander. I think this guy's really good in the 99 of a ton of decks, just to get to see 1 or 2 extra cards per turn. But listen, man, I want the cute, cuddly, little stuffy guy to meet Defile and Mutilate. It's just generically too good, man. Loot doesn't really inspire me to build around him, even though it's an incredibly solid card. Now, while I do miss the old gritty aesthetic of Magic cards, we can get back to the gritty, smelly swamp with another set, man. I appreciate that not everything needs to be abominations all the time. We can have some cute fellas in there as well. The set seems to be that. Lots of cute little cutie pies out there, fun stuff. It's too bad it's on the bonus sheet as a mythic. I think it's going to be tough to find or pricey for people who want it. Anyways, man, this is Nicky G from Better Commander, signing off.